The NPBA's back. Back in New York City. Back on the mighty Hudson River for the running of the fastest, most exciting, and definitely the largest powerboat event in the United States, in the world for that matter. The National Powerboat Association's New York City Poker Run.
This is the big one, New York City.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Lors, and we'd like to welcome you back to the 4th annual running of the NPBA's New York City Poker Run, the biggest and baddest powerboat event anywhere. And today we've got a unique viewpoint. Our co-host, Marcus Zavataro, will be on board his Factory 2 race boat, the Bang Cafe Wild Child, wired for sound and with a camera, so we can share in his experiences in this poker run. I've never heard of this, a Factory 2 race boat in a poker run event. This is an anything goes event, so basically anything goes, Marcus.
That's right, Rich. I'm going to bring the perspective on board of my boat, show you what it's like at the start of a major event with lots of boats around you, lots of horsepower, and lots of water flying in the air. Speaking of which, I was down on the docks earlier. There were well over 200 boats, and I have to tell you, the event, the numbers of people that shows up at the event keeps getting better and better in quality. The technology as well. Some of these boats have some amazing equipment, some trick technology on the bottoms. Rich, what do you think about some of the new innovations with some of these pleasure boats?
You talk about extreme. We're talking about boats with speed capability over 150 miles an hour, horsepower and acceleration like a dragster. And the Hudson River can be very, very choppy, especially with 200 boats cutting up the water. We'll be right back with more of that action.
The NPBA's New York City Powerboat Poker Run 2000 is brought to you by Haverstraw Marina, makers of gaff rig gauges, and Eliminator Powerboats, the shape and velocity of boating in the 21st century. Amsterdam Hospitality Group, the art of style in the heart of Manhattan. Visit one of our newly renovated hotels, the Bentley, our flagship property, with spectacular river views. The Mauritania and the Modern in the heart of the theater district. Amsterdam Court, just seconds from Times Square. The Marcel near the trendy Flatiron district, the Astor and the Ellington on the fashionable Upper West Side. All of our hotels provide service, style, and comfort to make your stay in New York all that they hoped it would be. Amsterdam Hospitality Group. Rooms start at $127 per night.
For more than 3 decades, the name Eliminator has been synonymous with performance and quality, the best the boating industry has to offer. During that time, Eliminator has learned there are no shortcuts to excellence. Our entire line of performance sport boats are custom built, featuring incredible in-the-mold multicolor gel coat graphics, award-winning construction, and high-performance engine installation capabilities. If you're serious about owning the finest in performance hull technology, the choice is simple. Eliminator, the shape and velocity of boating in the 21st century.
www.princemonacocasino.com. Feeling lucky? www.princemonacocasino.com. Go there.
Hi, I'm Mike Andretti, and you're watching Speedvision.
We're back at Liberty Landing Marina in Jersey City, New Jersey, right across from New York's financial district on the morning of the huge New York City Powerboat Poker Run. This event has truly become a boat and engine builders' showcase of their biggest and baddest products. We got a chance to speak with some of these manufacturers and dealers about poker runs and boat sales just before the start of the event. Donzi's here in power. Steve Simon and Nick Miller from Donzi Marine are here aboard their latest and greatest creation, a 38-footer with a pair of 575 SCs. They're here for the poker run, but they're here to prove a point too, I think, right?
Absolutely. We travel all over the country to come to events like these.
Billy does a great job at this New York Poker Run. This will be about our 8th event this year, and one of the toughest. The waters get really turned up. There's a lot of ferries and cruisers, big cruisers going through this harbor, which kicks the water up pretty nicely, plus the 200 boats doesn't help.
And Nick, what kind of interest do you get from events like this?
Well, you know, the poker runs, we've been doing these now for about 3 years, Steve and I, and, you know, we found this is truly a way to sell boats, to sell product. The amazing thing about a poker run versus an actual race boat, if you're in a poker run boat, at the end of the day, you can step off, hand the keys to a customer, and they can purchase the exact boat, or we can produce a boat identical to that, versus if they go to, say, an APBA race or a sanctioned race, and they see a boat they like, they can't really buy that boat, because the manufacturer can't produce a boat identical to that for them, whereas we can do that at Donzi.
And the performance on this boat is what?
We're running right at 88 miles an hour. The boat's been in the water for about 2 hours. We've done a little prop testing, but we're anticipating some big water today, so we're going to stick with the smaller propellers.
Donzi, one of the oldest names in high-performance boating, but the legend continues.
Greg Gluck aboard the American Offshore Marina 40-foot skater year 2000 model. He's from Dania Beach, Florida. That's where the dealership is as well. Greg, tell us about how this is really, you know, a race boat, but how it's been transformed into being a pleasure boat.
Well, Marcus, this is the race deck on this boat. We've got a pair of 1,300 horse Sterlings in it. The setup is a quarter canopy, 5-passenger boat. You know, these boats are pretty much one-offs. They're custom built for each customer. They have a new model coming out now, which is strictly going to be for poker runs. It's going to have a cabin. I believe it's going to be 42 foot, 11 inches wider at the tunnel, a little lower profile, and it's in the works right now. We should see it for 2001.
So the primary difference as this boat sits between a race boat and a pleasure boat is the fact that it has an open cockpit. You don't have a full canopy, you have a quarter canopy, and you got 3 extra people behind it.
That's pretty much correct. The layup is the same. It's all composite Kevlar. You know, the rigging is it's all race rigged, race mounted, and it's basically a race boat with a lot of power.
Greg, what kind of speeds do you anticipate on the Hudson River today as we head up towards Haverstraw Marina?
Well, we were testing yesterday. It was the first time the boat was in the water, and we were hitting around 140. We're going to let it, depending on the wind and everything, we're going to let it eat and see. Hopefully, we're going to be reaching somewhere approaching 150.
Well, I see you have harnesses up in the front buckets, but your passengers don't. I do see they have straps tucked in underneath their seats. I bet they'll be holding on pretty tight if it gets choppy.
If they're wise, they'll be holding on tight.
We'll be watching for you. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Terry Sobel with Nortec Boats. Nortec's not a big name, but it's a high-quality name, and it's making quite a name for itself in racing and high performance. Terry?
Yeah, that's right. We're a custom boat builder. We build boats in 38, 43, 50, and our new 50-foot Super Cat model.
Terry, I saw your Factory 2 boat about 2 years ago. These are some of the quickest boats out there.
Yeah, that was the Mastery team, and in 1998 they ran 6 races in Factory 2, and they had 6 first-place finishes.
Nortec's known for innovation, but is it more rough water, calm water, what?
Well, really, it'll handle any kind of water you want to go out in. It's a deep V, it's a step-bottom hull. It can handle just about as much water as you're willing to go out into.
Terry, you have to have tremendous pride in your product. What makes Nortec stand out from the rest?
Hey, well, we're a small company, but we're doing big things.
Big things, I'll say. The fit and finish is extraordinary. Custom building, Nortec. We'll be back with more big things, including a word with the Executive Director of the National Powerboat Association, Bill Friends, as we continue our coverage of the NPBA's gigantic New York City Powerboat Poker Run.
In the high-tech world of marine technology, information is the vital link. The difference between high performance or run-of-the-mill. Gaffrey Precision Instruments, the #1 choice in performance boating. Gaffrey Precision Instruments builds quality and performance into every instrument they manufacture. Dependable, durable, precise, that's Gaffrey. Boat and engine builders have a choice, and so do you. So choose Gaffrey Precision Instruments, the winner's choice.
Amsterdam Hospitality Group, the art of style in the heart of Manhattan. Visit one of our newly renovated hotels, the Bentley, our flagship property, with spectacular river views. The Mauritania and the Modern in the heart of the theater district. Amsterdam Court, just seconds from Times Square. The Marcel near the trendy Flatiron District, and the Astor and the Ellington on the fashionable Upper West Side. All of our hotels provide service, style, and comfort to make your stay in New York all that you hoped it would be. Amsterdam Hospitality Group. Rooms start at $127 per night.
Now you can join the National Powerboat Association for only $19.95 by going to nationalpowerboat.com or calling 203-532-1312. Join the excitement of the largest powerboat event anywhere. This year's New York City Poker Run 2000 on the Hudson River, coming right up June 16 and 17. And get info on Manhasset Bay Gold Cup on Long Island Sound, August 19. Only $19.95 to join the NPBA. Call 203-532-1312 or go to nationalpowerboat.com.
We're here on the Hudson River in New York City at one of the largest and most beautiful venues in the world, and as Billy Friends likes to say,
We're back. Look out.
I got a chance to speak with Billy just before he left the dock. Billy Friends, this is your baby, the New York Poker Run. You've got to feel great right about now.
This is a great thing. We used to produce offshore powerboat races. Now it's grown into these poker runs. As you can see, the boats that these guys come out with now are bigger and badder and more powerful than the offshore boats that we used to race in our times.
Why do they come to this one?
This is New York City. This is the top of the world. This is the place to be. As you can see behind us is the Twin Towers. Then we're going to ride all the way up past the George Washington Bridge to the Tappan Zee, all the famous places that everybody knows in the world.
Frank Sinatra sang about it, but Billy Friends, he blows more horsepower up the river than anybody else. Good job.
So the Coast Guard says. Thank you very much, Rich.
And not only is the Coast Guard watching, but so is the rest of the world here in New York Harbor. As the boats begin to leave the dock, the weather conditions are nearly perfect. It's about 85 degrees with 75% humidity, a light 10-mile-per-hour breeze, and the current is southbound at about 3 to 4 knots, with a slight chance of rain. Today, the boats will mill off the stern of the Intrepid, the Air and Sea Museum there. Billy will drop the green flag just before the George Washington Bridge, and the boats will race 30 miles up the Hudson to Ossining Boat and Canoe Club, where the fleet will receive the second poker card. This is the speed run, so there'll be some great action here. Then they'll proceed about 6 miles north across the Hudson to Haverstraw Marina to receive their third poker card. They will then race 35 miles back to Chelsea Piers to receive the last 2 cards and find out who wins the $5,000 grand prize for the best poker hand.
Okay, let's dial up the Coast Guard here and tell them that we're going to start. We have the Playboy cigarette, the special edition, coming up at our stern. We've got Miss July on board. She's going to be throttling the pace boat. She's learned all about throttling and trimming and going fast. But then again, she already knew all that stuff.
Hi, guys.
All the boats are in front of us, behind us, around us. It takes a while to get 150 to 200 boats in one area before it starts. When we start, we're all going to be going in one direction, north up the Hudson River. It gets a little crazy, as you'll see. We'll have to keep a straight line, choose our line, and just go with it. So I'll be back in a few minutes as we negotiate our way towards the front where we'll be starting our coverage.
As we take a look at the Manhattan skyline from Marcus's Wild Child factory race boat, you can get an idea of what Billy Friends was talking about earlier. One of the reasons this is such a popular event is the overpowering Manhattan scenery. There's really nothing like it anywhere. From the Statue of Liberty to the Empire State Building, the Twin Towers, if you have a boat and can get a chance to come here, you'll never forget it. Plus, the excitement of all of these terrific boats at this event. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but the NPBA does it every year. Speaking of the Statue of Liberty, which had been the milling area in years past, the Coast Guard made the NPBA move the start of the event 4 miles up the river to the Intrepid because last year the event clogged the entire lower New York harbor and interrupted all ferries, barges, and even ocean liners from their normal course of business. Here's a couple of the pace boats that are going to start this event. Let's check in with Billy Friends.
We have a nice orderly parade going up the Hudson River today. It's taken us a couple of years to get it this organized. A lot of these fellows have been in my poker runs for quite a few years now. Boy, it sure looks tremendous, too, when they do it right.
As you can pan around behind us here, you'll see quite a number of boats, about 180 to 200 boats going up the river behind us. We're all going to mill here. Milling is when you sit in an area waiting for the pace boats to come up. We'll have 3 or 4 different starts based on the size and speed of the individual boats. We're going to creep up with the faster boats, although Most of the boats in that class are going to be well over 120 to 130 miles an hour. We're going to catch the action from the start. We'll have the second start, the 90-mile-an-hour boats fly by us as well. So we'll try to get you as close to the action as we can.
And speaking of action, here's some active boats waiting for the start. Here's a look at the entire fleet as it parades up the Hudson. It truly is immense. We've got boats with speed capabilities in excess of 150 miles an hour and beautiful sea rays that go only about 45. Here's a look at football star Phil Simms, formerly of the New York Giants, holding the cruiser-class yellow flag aboard head coach Jim Fossil's Big Blue. Now the pace boats are bringing the fleet up to speed as they reluctantly leave the intrepid Air and Space Museum and head towards the George Washington Bridge. We have got some of the most colorful boats on the planet in this event today, and one of them, the Playboy Cigarette, is capable of 100 miles per hour. We're looking at it from Billy Frenz's pace boat, which is equally fast.
Straight up a little more, Chris. Stay ahead of everybody. Stay ahead of everybody. Hey, Chris, go.
Playmate Lisa Durgan seems to be doing a fine job with the throttles on board that Playboy boat. And we'll be back for the start of the New York City Powerboat Polka Run. Don't go anywhere.
The family computer. It's hard to imagine a day without it, which is why more people are putting their trust in Dell, the company awarded for best PC reliability and service 7 years in a row.
Computer free.
When you order a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 3 processor for $849,
I guess I'll go wash the windows.
Dell provides you with online training. And of course, you'll also get Dell's lifetime 24/7 phone and online support. If you should need more help in your first year of ownership, Dell will even send a repair technician to your home. Dell's service and support helps you get the most out of your PC. That is, when you can get on it. 1 year of AOL membership included with the purchase of a new Dell home system. So call now to own a complete Dell Dimension system with an Intel Pentium 3 processor and everything you see here for only $849. So order two, then you're sure to get some time online.
The excitement, the thrill, the power. Nobody brings it all home like Powerboat Magazine, the world's leading authority on performance boating. Each and every issue of Powerboat Magazine is jam-packed with detailed and timely articles for performance boating enthusiasts. Now, during this limited time offer, the world's leading performance boating magazine is yours for only $27 per year. That's over 50% off the newsstand price. Have your credit card ready and call today.
Blue Lightning Marine. We build high performance, and we sell hustler powerboats. Our premier engine builder, Bobby Ragone, has a zero defect record. Do you know anyone else who can say that? 500 to 1,400 horsepower. Blue Lightning Marine, Coscob, Connecticut.
Sundays mean adventure on OLN. A swimmer is swept out to sea, and a man must amputate his own arm. Ordinary people, extraordinary situations on Wild Survival with Corbin Burnson. Adventure Sundays, 8 p.m. only on OLN.
We're back for the start of the wicked, wild, and woolly NPBA New York City Polka Run. What about all those boats? That's the voice of Lisa Durgan, the playmate from the Playboy Cigarette Pace Boat, who's getting her first taste of this adrenaline-filled start. And now, I'd like to welcome Marcus Zavataro to the booth to help me describe this action firsthand. Marcus?
Thanks, Rich. And it really is pretty crazy down there. As you just mentioned, the adrenaline of this start that we're looking at right now is what it's all about. They come here for the scenery, the camaraderie, and all the things we mentioned before, but truly for the rush of the adrenaline, especially for the non-professional that participates in these events, is what they remember and keeps bringing them back year after year. Now here's a shot from Chopper 2 of the front line of the 100-mile-per-hour club as they put the throttles down right at the start of the speed run. I'm able to sneak out ahead of the pack and give you a view of what it feels like when the whole pack is coming at you.
Take a look at this little machine. This is not your father's Army Jeep. This is the Hummer, a 50-foot triple-engine hustler with 3,600 horsepower and 120 miles an hour on tap. That baby's brand new and ready to rock and roll today. An enormous boat, a fast boat, and typical of this poker run. And just how dominant is this boat? We'll take a look at it as she runs by some of the other boats in the event, including Marcus Savataro at the top of your screen in his factory race boat. Now that's power.
Speaking of power, as we are heading north on the Hudson, this brand new Canopy Advantage boat with 900 SC Mercury motors and number 6 drives came out of nowhere.
And those canopies serve a real purpose right now because without them, the wind and buffeting in these boats is extreme. As you can see, these three people in an equally fast boat. And here's Marcus. You can hear the wind in his microphone. In these calm conditions, you know the cats are going to go to the front. And here, looking at the start, we just had 200,000 horsepower take off from the Intrepid. But the lead boats right now, as expected, are the cats. And the fastest cat has 6,000 of those horsepowers on board. That is the Jet Set you're looking at right in front of your screen there, out of New Jersey, running at about 152 miles an hour, right off of 138th Street in Manhattan. This is a sight you will not see every day.
Following close behind is Ruthless, a 46-foot skater with about 2,600 horsepower of its own.
How fast are those lead cats? Well, these guys are running about 70 to 80 miles an hour, and they're just about losing sight of the big boys out front.
Focusing on this unique Advantage boat came all the way from California, and Rich was able to take a closer look at those T-tops.
How many times have you been bothered by weather on a day of boating? Well, here's a boat that's weatherproof, the Advantage 40-foot Poker Run Special. She has T-tops so the sun can come streaming in, but if it rains, just pop the tops back on, and away you go. Full speed, high-performance boat, but completely out of the weather. It's a great thing. And it's fully composite construction, which means that should you stuff this boat in a high-speed accident, that roof is going to stay over your head and protect you from any water damage or any problems caused by being either upside down or a straight-on stuff. That can be very dangerous in some of these boats. As the technology in offshore racing has come into powerboating, that's a prime example right there. Look at the fleet. It continues to come out of the harbor, all that horsepower, all that speed, and everybody's having a great time, Marcus.
Absolutely. Back to the safety issue. The higher the speeds are, the more safe you want to be, and it's good to see more and more people wearing their life jackets as well.
And everybody on board is not necessarily a true high-performance boater. There's a lot of family activity out there. People are getting a suntan, as you can see in this particular boat. People are basically here to have a good time. If you've got a lot of speed, you can show it off. If you don't, you can still enjoy a poker run like this one.
The conditions on the Hudson certainly began to pick up as we headed further north, that you'll see in some of these cats when they start to hit some of the chop.
And this cat is a brand new 32-foot skater from Peter Letten in Michigan. Some of the finest boats in the world come out of there. Whoa, he's getting some serious air, but as you can see, the boat came down right side up safely, and everybody was comfortable on board. Another safe and comfortable ride, this beautiful Outer Limits, the Liquidator. And who's on board here? But the father and son team, the builders, Paul and Mike Fiore. They've teamed up with Outer Limits once again. They were in separate companies. Now they're together. Another one of their products is out here looking really strong right now. These boats, as you can see, are world class, and whether they're from Rhode Island or Long Island, they are certainly up to the task. Here's a fountain paddling as best they can to catch up to some of the higher horsepower boats, but look at this one. This is the Monopoly out of Birmingham, Alabama, one of the fastest boats in the U.S., pleasure or race. A big skater, this thing can really haul the mail. Last night at the docks, Marcus caught up with Richard and got a closer look at this amazing skater.
We're on board a year 2000 40 skater here in New Jersey with Richard Scrucci, Chairman, CEO of Health South. Richard, tell us a little bit about this boat.
Well, the boat's relatively new. We've had it for about 4 or 5 months. We're running 900 SCs in the boat. You can see we've got an incredible graphic design. We're really excited about this run tomorrow. And excited about this new boat.
How'd you come up with the name Monopoly?
Well, you know, we were looking for something really innovative and something different, and you know, we were dealing with American Offshore Marine, and you know, Zen is a great guy, and he's suggested that you may want to consider a monopoly scheme. And you know, if I told you it was from my idea, I'd be telling you something that wasn't true. But it was Zen's idea, and so you know, we met with the design artist, and he came up with a scheme, and it was incredible. So we said go with it.
Well, this boat's probably as fast as a lot of the race boats in the SBI and the APBA Superboat class. It's really a detuned 1,000 horsepower motor that now is open to the public as a 900 SC. How do you like these motors, and how do they perform overall?
These motors are incredible. They keep coming back for more. You can run them almost to the, you know, hammer down almost all the way as much as you want. It keeps coming back and coming back for more. We're very pleased with the performance, the durability. We've had no trouble out of these engines, and you know, I've had a lot of boats, and I've always had trouble with the engines blowing up when you run them really hard for a long period of time. But we're really excited about these motors. They've been great.
That's great. Well, what speeds do you think you're going to pull tomorrow? I know you don't want to give away the show, but we expect to see you in the front line.
Well, I'm hoping that I can hold up there with some of these other boats that are running the motors that, you know, these 1100s and 1400 horsepower motors. But I expect that I was looking at the river today. I think, you know, you'll see some 120s, 130s, maybe some 140s.
All right, well, that's respectable, more than respectable on most boats. Tell you what, we'll check in with you tomorrow morning as you're toning everything up, getting ready to leave the docks. What do you think?
Very good. I look forward to it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, we didn't quite catch up with Rich this morning, but our helicopters have caught up with him now. And boy, this is the pride of Alabama. I'll bet Bear Bryant loves this one. We'll be right back to find out the results of the speed run, and we're going to find out who the NPBA's King of the Hudson is for the year 2000. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Amsterdam Hospitality Group, the art of style in the heart of Manhattan. Visit one of our newly renovated hotels, the Bentley, our flagship property, with spectacular river views. The Mauritania and the Modern in the heart of the theater district. Amsterdam Court, just seconds from Times Square. The Marcel near the trendy Flatiron district, and the Astor and the Ellington on the fashionable Upper West Side. All of our hotels provide service, style, and comfort to make your stay in New York all that you hoped it would be. Amsterdam Hospitality Group. Rooms start at $127 per night.
Don't look now, but something may be gaining on you, and it's probably an Eliminator Daytona, the most record-setting, championship-winning air entrapment hull design the boating industry has ever seen. If you've never ridden an Eliminator Daytona, don't buy another boat till you do. One ride is all it'll take. Models from 19 to 36 feet, including the all-new integrated deck canopy design. If you're serious about owning the finest in air entrapment hull technology, the choice is simple. Eliminator, the shape and velocity of boating in the 21st century.
Tonight, Auto Week features the Audi S4. Then let the sparks fly with the 2000 Belt Car Championships. Plus, bang wheels with off-road racing from Luxembourg. That's Auto Week at 7 Eastern, Motorsport Mondial at 7:30, and Championship Off-Road Racing at 8.
We're back in the middle of the speed run from the George Washington Bridge, 20 miles upriver to the Tappan Zee Bridge on the Hudson River at the NPBA's New York City Poker Run. Here is Team Sutphin, and you talk about trim. This is one of Richie Sutphin's boat out of Florida, and the gentleman behind the wheel here is using an awful lot of trim to get as much speed as possible to catch this boat right here.
And the boat they're chasing is the 42 Outer Limits of Pete Mazzo, No Discipline, up near the top of the V-bottom competition, still heading north. Good to see the life jackets on that crew.
Life jackets are not mandatory, but they are recommended. Here's Planet Honda, Tim Chisuli, nearby automobile dealer from North Jersey, well-known in powerboat racing circuits. He also has this semi-pleasure, semi-race boat that he plays with on his summer weekends. And if the boat looks oddly familiar, that is a George Linder design. It's a stretched Chris Cat. What's he looking at? He's looking at this fleet roaring up past Yonkers at speeds never before seen on this stretch of the Hudson.
Talking about speed, whoever buys Team Rutten is definitely in for some speed with this clean boat as he flies up with his for sale sign on the port sponsor.
But nobody, I mean nobody, is going to catch Jet Set. That's Mike Fusco from northern New Jersey, roaring along now at speeds over 178 miles an hour, 6,000 turbine horsepower, serious speed on the Hudson.
And right on his tail is Ruthless, a 46-foot skater out of New Jersey. Overtaking here, American Offshore, Ruthless coming in second.
And another one of those magnificent skaters. We saw her before, Monopoly. She's right there hanging in, but no one, I mean no one, is catching that bad boy. Tim Chisuli's trying, however, with his very fast factory cat. Look at Jet Set Paul the Male now. He has got an idea. He wants to be first. He is flying along right there.
And flying is what John O'Loughlin is doing at the fastest V-bottom in his 37 outer limits, pushing 120 miles an hour, followed right behind by Mike and Paul Fiore in Liquidator of 42 outer limits. And then there's Dennis Kelleher in his 37 outer limits, never satisfied.
Your results in the King of the Hudson competition. Jet Set first, Ruthless second, and American Offshore third in the cat division. As for the V-bottoms, Let's Rock second, Liquidator, and third, Never Satisfied. As a point of fact, 6 of the top 7 V-bottoms were outer limits made by Mike and Paul Fiore. Marcus talked to them earlier.
Family affairs are what it's all about, and powerboating is one of those arenas where you always see families together. No family has had more competition and fun on the water than the Fiores. I'm here with Paul and Mike Fiore of Outer Limits Offshore Powerboats. Paul, you've been involved with building boats for, 25 years now. Tell us a little bit about where you've come, and now that you've joined up with Mike, where you guys you think are going?
Well, back over 20 years ago, we got into boat building as a hobby, and we were quick to go into developing new technology, which what I thought was necessary at the time. We developed the step bottom hull. We were the first ones to do it. Mike and I did that 15 years ago. And we just progressed, and I sold that company, and now Mike and I are together again, no longer competing, but working as a team. And this 42 was our first effort together, and we're both very proud of it.
Well, I think your competition, although may not be on the water, it's still on the drawing boards and in the shop. I know how both of you work, and both of you live on the water and love to play hard. Mike, how's it feel to be back with your father with Outer Limits and you together at Outer Limits?
Actually, it's great. We actually have the whole family there, not just my dad, my mom, my sister, and all of us work together to build the boats that we do. We started Outer Limits 6 years ago, and we've been working hard at it. And it's nice to have a family effort, and makes life a little bit easier.
Well, the Poker Run circuit certainly gives a great showcase for the high-performance boats, and Outer Limits probably has the most showing out of all the boats manufactured by other companies. 8 strong boats here, many of them over 100 miles an hour. We'll look for these guys out on the water. Guys, thank you very much, and continue to success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As Paul and Mike rocket on up the Hudson, we're going to take a look at some of the competition further back in the bag.
Some of the smaller boats running between 70 and 80 miles an hour. You can see that the chop picks up a little bit, and so does their bow.
And here's Marcus on board with driver David Dahl. We're seeing what they're seeing as they head up to Ossining in the first checkpoint.
Here's a good-looking Baja, the Penetrator Baja. Young lady having fun. Again, everyone does have fun on this event. Baja, one of the sponsors. A lot of boats, good showing.
As you can see, this is something for everybody. They're running along in the medium seas, and this is a Black Thunder. The Stars and Stripes boat you see in front of you, a Black Thunder. That boat is one of the quicker boats out there.
A little bit of a rooster tear from a 30-foot Spectre. This looks like it runs in the stock class and is also a pleasure boat, capable of speeds upwards of about 110 miles an hour. For the Mercury Outboards.
This is a classic that's got to be a cigarette.
38 cigarette Top Gun.
And here's a Sonic. Ideal lines for rough water. One of the better rough water boats out there, out of Florida, Sonic Boat. We have arrived at the first checkpoint. You see the boats come off plane. You see the welcoming committee here to greet them. This is a yacht club situation up here. The people, they wait for the boats to come. When they come, it's party time.
Time to get the first card. Everyone stops to see if everything's still okay under the hatches and heads on up to Haverstraw Marina.
Let's check in with Marcus.
We've traveled the 30 miles up the Hudson River, the fastest leg of the course. We're outside the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club. You'll see a lot of boats passing us here. They're getting their second card towards that poker hand and the $5,000 grand prize, which will be awarded at Chelsea Piers later tonight. Got a couple boats going by here. Here's a brand new Advantage canopy top boat. All the boats are behind us milling in to get their cards. If we pan around, we'll see quite a few of them. Again, we're up to close to 200 boats at this event. You can see a lot of broken boats. It looks like everybody's having fun and staying together. We'll see what happens at the next stop.
And now here's a look at our youngest captain, Ryan Friedman, in a Sonic. We'll have a word with that young man in the next segment, but first, check out the Cigarette Special Edition 500 with our leader, Billy Friends, and our producer, Dan Pickering, on board as they head over to the second checkpoint at Haverstraw. There's a lot more action at the New York City Poker Run, so don't go away.
Can your radio do this? Only one radio can give you stereo sound this big, yet is small enough to fit almost anywhere. The extraordinary Wave Radio from Bose. Press the remote control and hear big, rich sound that fills the room. Sounds so rich, Popular Science called it a sonic marvel. You hear music the way it was meant to be heard. Clear, full, incredibly lifelike. You've got to hear the Wave Radio to believe it, and now you can, satisfaction guaranteed. Call toll-free to hear it in your home. Ask about our free shipping offer and interest-free payment plan. Experience big stereo sound from a radio. Call today.
Order now and receive a free gift box. With our 12-month payment plan, the Wave Radio CD is just $41.58 a month.
www.princemonacocasino.com. Feeling lucky? www.princemonacocasino.com. Go there.
We're back, and here comes Let's Rock directly underneath our helicopter as we return to the 5-mile run to Haverstraw in the New York City NPBA Poker Run.
It's a great shot of a couple of classic V-bottoms, look like an Apache and a cigarette flying up the Hudson.
And Marcus, at any time during these poker runs, a boat race can break out. Somebody wants to see who's faster, who's got more power, who's done the most homework. Here you see this Warpath Apache that has to be at least 15 years old, and yet what a beautiful boat.
You see a lot of boats that have been refurbished and repainted to try to make themselves look as good as the new boats, and some of the old technology still runs almost as good as the new technology.
But no matter what, everybody on board looking trim. They've got matching uniforms, one of the best looking crews out here. They're having a ball for themselves.
It's all about teamwork. Everyone has fun, everyone works on the boats, everybody dresses alike. And Rich, here's a brand new Donzi.
Yep, Donzi. Don Aronow, the legend in offshore powerboat building. His secretary nicknamed him Donzi, so in 1965, he started Donzi Boat Company.
And before Don Aronow was known as Donzi, he had started Formula. Here's a brand new Formula with the fast tech bottom. Pretty looking boat.
Don Aronow is all over this event. The late great designer builder started Formula, he started Donzi, he started Cigarette, he started Magnum, and he started Apache boats. An amazing record.
Another great shot of Team Rudden. Good looking boat, still for sale.
Twin outboard power, plenty of speed, and flying along. And here is our youngest captain. Ryan Friedman is just barely 15 years old, and he seems to be handling himself very well. Marcus talked to our youngest competitor earlier.
Talk about birthday presents. I'm standing here with Ryan Friedman on his father's 35-foot Sonic. Ryan's 15th birthday is today, the day of the poker run, and his father said, have a ball, you're registered, take the boat, be safe. Ryan, how'd that feel?
I felt great. I'm allowed to run the boat. I take it by myself sometimes. Thanks to my dad that I'm able to have this opportunity and learn how to operate a boat.
Well, obviously your dad's got a lot of confidence in your handling of the boat and the way you're going to handle it around the docks and in the open ocean. What do you expect out there today?
I expect rough seas, all these big power boats. I just want to be careful and be safe.
Most importantly, be safe and have fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Veteran words from a very young captain, Ryan Friedman. He's got his head screwed on straight at 15 years of age. The rest of the fleet continues along, and this is a beautiful boat right here.
42-foot outer limits, brand new, owned by Pete Mazzo. Lives in New Jersey. 600 SC, Mercury motors, and number 5 drive. Real pretty boat.
Poker runs are one of the new extreme sports, but one of the most extreme things about poker runs are the graphics on these boats. Every year we comment how wild and wonderful looking these boats are.
Like this brand new 42-foot Cigarette Tiger. Tom Scalpi running the Planet Honda F3 boat. Looking strong, lightening up a little bit.
That cat's running clean and smooth. You see she's not running very wet. He's got her laid out just right, trimmed perfectly, and having a fine ride at high speed on the Hudson River.
It's a 32-foot Hustler with a race setup with a triple bolster up front. He's running great in this water.
Which brings the boats to our second checkpoint for their third playing card on the poker run. You can see the boats lined up. What they do is pull in, get a playing card, come back out to the Hudson River, and turn southbound towards New York City. And as we head back to New York, some 35 miles to Chelsea Piers, it looks like Sink or Swim is out for a Sunday drive.
There's Chris Burge in his 42 Sonic, brand new boat, good looking boat. Nice shot of a 26-foot hustle with a very bright paint job. Newcomer to the NPBA Powerboat poker runs. Good looking boat, and looks like he's got it trimmed just about right.
And here's the 38 Donzi ZX, and as we go underneath the Tappan Zee Bridge for the second time on our way back to the Big Apple, we'll be right back for the final leg of the New York City Powerboat poker run.
The NPBA's New York City Powerboat Poker Run 2000 is brought to you by Lavorsi Marine, makers of gaff rig gauges, and Eliminator Powerboats, the shape and velocity of boating in the 21st century.
If you're a woodworker, then you know there's nothing like custom-made furniture. The quality, the craftsmanship, the satisfaction. And there's nothing like this great custom woodworking offer from Woodsmith Magazine and Time Life Books.
Now you can get this essential shop-built jigs and fixtures guide absolutely free. Use it to build this incredible custom jig to cut perfect, snug-fitting dovetail joints every time. Or try this straight-edge guide with your circular saw or router. And make perfect, straight, mitered, or beveled cuts with this sliding crosscut box. And it's yours free when you order bookcases, shelves, and cabinets for the low price of just $9.99. With it, you can build ingenious projects like this modular cabinet. Use our exclusive designer notebooks to build this beautiful buffet server that transforms into a basic bookshelf. Or add doors and turn it into a handsome entertainment center. Build a tower bookcase or a smaller version for the kids' room. Or design this custom interlocking system to store anything. Build it your way with clear, illustrated instructions, 3D views, cutting diagrams, and more. Plus a convenient lie-flat spiral binding. Then shop test future Woodsmith custom woodworking volumes without obligation. So call now to order bookcases, shelves, and cabinets for just $9.99 and get shop-built jigs and fixtures absolutely free. But hold on, there's more. Use your credit card and get this handy Benchmade non-slip pad that lets you work without clamps or vices. You get all this, a $45 value for just $9.99.
Take pride in having home furnishings you've built yourself and made just the way you want them, with help from Woodsmith Magazine and Time Life Books. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-396-5533 to order bookcases, shelves, and cabinets for just $9.99 plus $3.99 shipping and handling, and get your free shop-built jigs book. Use your credit card and get a free Benchmade work pad. That's 1-800-396-5533. Call now.
Friday nights, check out Y2K's hottest vehicles and news on Auto Week. And travel the world of racing on Motorsport Mondial. That's Auto Week at 7 Eastern, 8 Pacific, and Motorsport Mondial at 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. Every week on Speedvision.
We're back and we're bad with the New York City Poker Run on the Hudson River, the conclusion of the National Powerboat Association's mighty New York City event. Here's a look at Barkley Gibb all the way from Georgia, where he hosts his own annual poker run.
It's a good look at one of those California cats, a very low-profile boat. You see more of them on lakes out west than you do on the Hudson River here. Looking like a very smooth ride today. An Eliminator boat.
Top of the screen, Surfside 3. That's a big, bad hustler. And here is Petrified Fountain, one of the faster boats out there from Reggie Fountain Stable in North Carolina.
It's one of the new bottom styles with a step, and here's a classic 38-foot Scarab.
Another name in offshore racing, Scarab, well known to millions. Here's the Dry Martini, a classic cigarette belonging to Guy LaMotta, marina owner from Port Washington, Long Island, New York. This is his pride and joy. She's over 20 years old. But look at how beautifully she's finished and restored.
In fact, Guy just had that boat repainted over the winter. Beautiful shine on that boat. good-looking crowd. Everyone's having fun.
You see the helicopters chasing the fastest of the boats down the river, and it's anybody's race between the airborne craft and the waterborne.
That's a 42-foot McManus with triple 900 Cobra motors, followed by Liquidator, that 47 out of limits. As we come towards the close of this and they can start to see Manhattan skyline get closer and closer, everybody kind of tunes in their trim tabs and decides to put the throttles down for one last run at the city.
Here comes another Scarab, 4 people up. He's flying her pretty high, using a lot of trim, getting a little airborne, getting a lot of air, as a matter of fact. And finally, a Factory 2 race boat from Richie Sutphin out of Florida. One of the finest boats made, a straight-bottom Sutphin.
And Rich is going to take a look at who makes the fastest boats.
The question that everybody asks in an event like this is, which boat is the fastest? And you'd have to say Peter Ledden's Skaters. This is a 46-footer. As a matter of fact, last year, this particular boat, when it was named Recovery and owned by ex-offshore racer Stu Hayem, went 178 miles an hour at Lake X Mercury's test facility in Florida. Stu Hayem was world offshore champion for 10 consecutive years in one form or another. Probably the fastest man for the longest time in offshore racing. These boats are capable of over 200 miles an hour in the right conditions. There's nothing else on the water like them. So if someone asks you, what's the fastest thing out there? Skater. Renamed the Ruthless. This is the old Recovery. A little less horsepower, but still fast. Not fast enough today to catch that baby. Jet set, going under the George Washington Bridge first.
Another fast boat, Bronx Phantom, a brand new 30-foot Phantom with 502 EFIs out of the Bronx, flying down the Hudson.
And what is this event all about? Well, it's about a prize, a first prize, Billy Friends' favorite prize, $5,000. The crew with the best poker hand, that is the hand picked up from the 5 cards at the 5 stops. The one with the best poker hand wins, and the winning prize is $5 grand.
Remember, it's not the fastest boat, it is the best hand that wins the $5,000.
Now, there are awards for the fastest boat, the best appearing boat, but the overall prize goes to the best playing card hand.
Rich, we have boats here, 200 in fact, price ranging from $50,000 up to as high as $750,000 to $1 million, even $1 million for some of the big skaters. Quite an astounding field of boats, quite a price tag for all this fiberglass and iron.
What any one of these performance boaters can tell you is the more speed you want, the more money you have to spend. The first 100 miles an hour comes at one price. After that, boy, the sky's the limit.
I once heard a figure that over 100 miles an hour, if you want, for every additional mile an hour, it costs you another $5,000 to $8,000.
And here's a crew that's enjoying it. As you can see, they've got their fists in the air, they're having a ball. That's what poker runs are all about. As we wind down the event, the jubilation continues. They're more and more excited. It's been a very fast event today. The weather's been beautiful. The smiles are a mile wide.
There's another color-coordinated team with all the red shirts on. Joe Giammo on his 31-foot cigarette bullet with his Blue Lightning engines, running strong as he heads back down to Chelsea Piers.
And speaking of cigarettes, after a short break, Marcus has what we've all been secretly waiting for. An interview with Playboy cigarette throttle woman and Miss July playmate, Lisa Durgan. I know you'll all stay tuned for that.
The family computer. It's hard to imagine a day without it, which is why more people are putting their trust in Dell, the company awarded for best PC reliability and service 7 years in a row.
Computer free.
When you order a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 3 processor for $849,
I guess I'll go wash the windows.
Dell provides you with online training. And of course, you'll also get Dell's lifetime 24/7 phone and online support.
See that?
If you should need more help in your first year of ownership, Dell will even send a repair technician to your home. Dell's service and support helps you get the most out of your PC. That is, when you can get on it. 1 year of AOL membership included with the purchase of a new Dell home system. So call now to own a complete Dell Dimension system with an Intel Pentium 3 processor and everything you see here for only $849. So order two, then you're sure to get some time online.
Thursdays get vertical with coverage of the FIS World Cup. A vicious crash put racing phenom Peekaboo Street on the sidelines for 2 years. Now she's back.
I know I can win again.
FIS World Cup skiing, 8 p.m. only on OLN.
In the high-tech world of marine technology, information is the vital link.
The difference between high performance or run-of-the-mill. Gaffrey Precision Instruments, the #1 choice in performance boating. Gaffrey Precision Instruments builds quality and performance into every instrument they manufacture. Dependable, durable, precise, that's Gaffrey. Boat and engine builders have a choice, and so do you. So choose Gaffrey Precision Instruments, the winner's choice.
We're back with the granddaddy of all poker runs, the New York City Poker Run, brought to you by the National Powerboat Association.
Here's some great action of a 27-foot activator heading down towards the Chelsea Piers, letting it all hang out for the last couple miles.
And we're back in New York Harbor. As we pass the Intrepid and pull into Chelsea Piers, Mark is tracked down and caught up with Rich Scrushy, driver of the Monopoly, one of the fastest boats in the event.
Everything you expected in New York City?
Everything, the skyline, the boats, the water, it was beautiful.
You guys were hanging out pretty far. It looked like there was nothing left. You had the throttles all the way to the wood, didn't you?
We had a chance. We were trying to outrun all the helicopters and a few of the other boats.
According to the helicopter pilot, you succeeded.
That's what he told us. He came and told us. He said that we passed him at about 135, and that made us feel really good. But it's really hard to see your GPS when you're moving at those speeds.
Absolutely. Well, safety is a big part about poker runs, and you got to keep your hands and eyes on the wheel and on the water, not always on the GPS.
Absolutely. It's and I was impressed today with the safety. I thought all the boaters today were very safe. They kept their distance. People matter of fact, this is probably the best I've seen in a poker run in terms of safety.
I mean, you'll be back next year for the 5th annual one?
Yeah, we'll be back. The music is good, too, by the way.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely. Hey, we loved it. It was great.
Well, hardware isn't the only thing that's of interest at these events. Everyone wanted to get a word with Lisa Durgan from Playboy, and Marcus finally did. The dog.
Well, the poker run's over, and I'm on the year 2000 cigarette edition with Lisa Durgan, the July 1998 Playmate and the driver throttle woman of the boat. And she did a great job out there. Did you have a good time?
It was so much fun. All the guys get so close to the boat. They see the Playboy symbol. They want to come by and check out the girls. And
you don't really typify the mold of, the person who's got the cigarette boat, the Playboy logo on. Usually, it's a different type of person behind the boat. You bring a very high-class type of individual to the boat.
Isn't that a treat?
Yes, it is.
You don't see many girls out here.
Tell us about the start of the poker run. Did you have a little fun out there? It was a little tricky.
It was choppy. It was scary, but it was fun, too. I couldn't believe how many people were out there today. It was really crazy, but I was really in control, and I had a great time. Everybody loves to come by the boat and see the boat. But we're trained to drive this boat, and we're all across the U.S. this summer, so.
Now, tell me about the training. I mean, did it take a while to learn how to run the boat, and especially in rough conditions?
Oh, yeah. It was very rough today. It was great. We were trained down in Miami, Florida, and a lot of people don't realize that we are the drivers, but we really are. And I trim, I tab, I know how to do everything now. And I get pretty fast. I'm trained. There's nobody helping me, so.
There you have it, Cigarette and Playboy speeding into the year 2000 poker run season and the APBA and SBI World Championships in November. Our producer, Dan Pickering, brought his camera to the Playboy Mansion in Hollywood back in March for the unveiling of the new Cigarette Playboy limited edition. That wasn't too tough to take either. He caught Hugh Hefner and the cigarette owners enjoying their moment in the sun. Later, he got Bill Taylor of Poker Runs America magazine on tape during his test ride provided for the media just south of Los Angeles. The boat looked and handled just great, but then again, would we expect anything less?
Now we're back at Chelsea Piers, home of Surfside 3 Marina. Surfside 3 is one of the largest Sea Ray dealers anywhere. It's where Jim Fassel of the Giants' Big Blue is docked alongside a number of other celebrity boats. Chelsea Piers is an incredible 10 blocks on the Lower West Side of Manhattan with a very impressive number of facilities, including a golf driving range that you see here.
Here's Team Donzi, who recently struck a very nice deal with Universal Studios, becoming the official boat of Universal Studios. And Rich, check out the job of the Coast Guard. They're doing a great job keeping this huge fleet of boats safely guided into the slips at Chelsea Piers.
As you can see, the last few boats come in, they're really stacked up back there. And there are plenty. A small traffic jam here at the end. Everybody wants to get into Chelsea Piers. And now for the big wrap-up, the grand prize. Who wins the $5,000? When we come back, we'll wrap up the coverage of the NPBA New York City Poker Run. You gotta love it.
Amsterdam Hospitality Group, the art of style in the heart of Manhattan. Visit one of our newly renovated hotels. The Bentley, our flagship property, with spectacular river views. The Ameritania and the Modern in the heart of the theater district. Amsterdam Court, just seconds from Times Square. The Marcel near the trendy Flatiron district. The Astor and the Ellington on the fashionable Upper West Side. All of our hotels provide service, style, and comfort to make your stay in New York all that we hoped it would be. Amsterdam Hospitality Group. Rooms start at $127 per night.
Now you can join the National Powerboat Association for only $19.95 by going to nationalpowerboat.com or calling 203-532-1312. Join the excitement of the largest powerboat event anywhere. This year's New York City Poker Run 2000 on the Hudson River, coming right up June 16 and 17. And get info on Manhasset Bay Gold Cup on Long Island Sound, August 19. Only $19.95 to join the NPBA. Call 203-532-1312 or go to nationalpowerboat.com.
Wednesdays are wild on OLN. On the slopes, Peekaboo Street is fearless. Now watch this Olympic gold medalist take off her skis and take on brave new worlds in the danger zone.
We're ready for action, baby.
From the rush of street luge,
It's all good.
to the awesome highs of kite skiing, to the rough riding of bicycle polo, Peekaboo goes beyond the powder and careens into the realm of the offbeat and the unsanctioned. Danger Zone with Peekaboo Street on Wild Wednesdays, 10:30 p.m., only on the Outdoor Life Network.
We're back as we take a look at the big blue team of Kerry Collins, Tiki Barber, Phil Simms, and Jim Fossil of the New York Giants. We'd like to thank Blue Lightning, Zero Defect Engines for donating the awards, and the Chelsea Brewing Company for hosting our awards. For best looking boat, the 500th edition cigarette.
Good choice, very good choice.
That's Jerry Dragoli with Cigarette Boat Company. Our best-looking crew, Wild Thing, led by Ron Bender. The Queen of the Hudson, Monopoly, with Richard Scrushy. The fastest V-bottom, Let's Rock, captained by John O'Loughlin. And the undisputed King of the Hudson, you guessed it, Jet Set, the Mike Fusco turbine-powered skater. And the grand prize, $5,000 poker hand winner. Billy's favorite prize goes to Charlie Melchner and his 38-foot Formula Fast Deck. Marcus, the boats are back. They're tied up. The event has ended, but boy, what an event. Speed, calm water, great conditions, and a lot of fun.
Can't agree with you more. I was towards the front of the pack, and the speed was immense. There were some boats over 150 miles an hour. A safe, fun, but fast event.
We saw some great boats today. We saw some great speeds, some fantastic action, some fantastic scenery. It doesn't get better than the New York City Poker Run. And we'll be back next year with yet another edition of this fantastic event. Hope to see you then.